Congratulations on your new ECM Synchronika 2. In this guide, you'll learn about the parts of the machine, their functions, and how to quickly set it up, make espresso, froth milk, make a latte and an Americano, as well as how to adjust the PID menu settings and perform routine cleaning and maintenance on your machine. In the accessory box with the ECM Synchronika 2 are a single and double spout portafilter, commercial 7-gram single and 14-gram double shot filter baskets, a back flush disc, a 58mm stainless steel tamper, a metal hose for plumbing the machine to a water line, a drip grid, a drainage container with mounting hardware, and a brew group cleaning brush. On top of the machine is a large cup warmer, underneath which is access for filling the reservoir. The front of the machine features the E61 group, which can be outfitted with a flow control device and group head pressure gauge. On either side of the group head, dual pressure gauges read the pump pressure when you're brewing and the pressure in the steam boiler. The brew lever is on the right-hand side of the group head. Lift this to begin brewing and lower it to stop the flow of water. On the machine's left side is a joystick valve for steam operation. The one on the right operates the hot water wand. On the lower half of the machine, you'll find the main power switch, neural decoder for operating the OLED PID display, and the PID display itself. This screen shows you the current boiler temperature and doubles as a shot timer during extractions. It also gives you access to the full programming menu, including brew and steam temperatures, pre-infusion settings, cleaning and filter reminders, eco mode, automatic on-off timing, and more. For more information on programming, watch the PID menu chapter later in this video. The drip tray slides out for easy emptying. After an extraction, excess water is discharged from the coffee puck out of the lower valve assembly of the group head into the drip tray. Prior to starting up, remove the pump hold-down shipping bolt from underneath the machine. Then verify the water source selection lever is fully set to the proper position. If using the machine in reservoir mode, the valve should face the inside of the machine. Once confirming the valve is set properly, remove the reservoir, rinse it, and verify the magnetic fill level float is mounted in the reservoir and looks like this. Place in the machine and fill with properly filtered water, and flip the main power switch. Fill appears in the PID display. Place a large receptacle under the group head and then lift the brew lever to run the pump for at least 30 seconds. The PID display will show you how long the pump has been on. Once you've run the pump for at least 30 seconds, lower the brew lever and the machine will begin heating. The Synchronika 2 has electric capsule heating within the group. While the boiler is warming up, it's turned on and the group is fully heated, ready to make espresso in about 6.5 minutes. The Synchronika 2 can also be plumbed directly to a water line, eliminating the need to refill a reservoir. For instructions on how to connect your machine to a dedicated water line, pause this video and consult your user's manual. Also, see the link in this video's description for a video with more information on direct plumbing options, including inline filters and pressure regulators. When brewing with the ECM Synchronika 2, use fresh ground coffee from a separate grinder. Fine-tuning grind size is the key to success when grinding your own coffee fresh. It's a straightforward process of adjusting the grind size to change how long it takes the espresso to extract. Grinding finer slows down the extraction and grinding coarser speeds it up. The goal is for the entire extraction to take about 25 to 30 seconds. Timing is the same for single and double shots, so start with a grind that looks like this. Very fine. When you pinch it between your fingers, it should hold together a bit and be fine enough to maybe make out your fingerprints in the compressed coffee. When you have a grind size that looks like this, load your portafilter. It's important to try and use the same amount or weight of coffee each time. Using more coffee slows down an extraction, and using less speeds it up. The best way to be consistent is to weigh the coffee. But if you do not have a scale, you can get close by slightly overfilling your portafilter and swiping away excess coffee level with the rim. With the coffee loaded, use a tamper to firmly and evenly compress the coffee. You want a nice flat surface so brew water moves evenly through the coffee. Attach the portafilter and raise the brew lever. Time the extraction. Again, the goal is about 25 to 30 seconds for the extraction, and timing is, again, the same for single and double shots. If your extraction was too slow, adjust the grind size a little coarser and try again. If the extraction was too fast, adjust the grind size a little finer to slow it down. Now, you may get lucky and get the grind size right in a couple of attempts, but no, it's not unusual to do 3 or more to dial into the right grind size. A good quality espresso focused grinder helps a lot. Be consistent with the amount of coffee used and tamp coffee firm and level. Also know that grind size is not set and forget. If you change coffee type, as your beans age or the amount used changes, your grind size will likely need slight adjustment. You've made your espresso, so let's look at frothing milk and we'll combine the two for a latte. Add about 4 to 5 ounces of milk to a frothing pitcher. The exact amount depends on your final drink size. Before frothing milk, briefly open the valve to purge the wand. Then position the tip just below the surface of the milk and open the valve. This tip position sips in small amounts of air, creating tiny microbubbles in the milk, which creates a rich, creamy texture. As the milk expands, lower the pitcher ever so slightly to keep the tip at the same depth just below the surface of the milk. When satisfied with the amount of air in the milk, lower the wand a little deeper below the surface and find a wand angle that causes the milk to swirl. The swirling breaks up any larger bubbles and creates a uniform milk texture in the pitcher. Keep the milk swirling until the outside of the pitcher just starts to get uncomfortable to hold due to heating. That's when the milk is at about 140 Fahrenheit or 60 Celsius, the sweet point for milk temperature. Close the steam valve with the tip still below the surface. Remove the pitcher and wipe down the wand immediately to prevent milk from baking on. Always purge the steam wand after frothing to evacuate residual milk from inside the wand. Before pouring the frothed milk over your espresso, you can tap and swirl the pitcher to break up any larger bubbles. Then pour a bit of the frothed milk in your cup and give it a little swirl to mix with your espresso. Then continue pouring the rest of the milk froth to fill your cup. It'll taste great just like this, or with a little practice and the help of online tutorials, you can dress it up with some latte art. Making an Americano is a way to enjoy a drip coffee-sized beverage brewed with an espresso machine. Start by brewing a shot of espresso as you normally would. When finished, pour the shot into a coffee mug and add water from the hot water tap until you've achieved your desired ratio. A typical ratio of espresso to hot water for an Americano is 1:3 or 1:4, but you can add more or less to suit your taste. When not in use, the PID display shows the current temperatures in the boilers. To access the PID menu, press the decoder knob twice. Press and hold the decoder knob to put the machine in sleep mode. When you enter the settings menu, brew temperature will display on the OLED screen. From there, rotate the decoder knob to scroll through the different menu settings and press the knob to select a setting to adjust. Once in a setting, rotate the knob to adjust its parameters. To return to the previous menu, wait a few seconds and the menu automatically reverts. Brew temperatures are adjustable between 185 and 210 degrees Fahrenheit. The coffee brewing temperature range is generally considered to be 195 to 205 degrees Fahrenheit. For most medium roasted coffees, 200 degrees is an optimal brewing temperature. For lighter roast, increase the temperature. For darker roast, reduce it. Steam Enable turns the steam boiler on or off. When turned off, the steam temperature menu will be hidden. Steam temperature can be set between 239 and 274 degrees Fahrenheit. Higher temperatures produce more steam power. If you're new to milk frothing, lowering the temperature gives you more time to infuse air into the milk before it gets too hot. Automatic pre-infusion can be turned on or off. When on, it uses an active phase followed by a passive phase. Active pre-infusion time is programmable up to 10 seconds and wets the coffee using the pump for the set time when running from the reservoir. Following active pre-infusion, the passive pre-infusion time, programmable up to 60 seconds, dictates how long the pump pauses to let the coffee soak before normal brewing resumes. Active pre-infusion of 3 seconds and passive of 7 is a good starting point for these. To use pre-infusion when plumbed directly to a water line, set active pre-infusion to off. Set passive pre-infusion for the time you want the pressure in the water line applied to the coffee before the pump turns on for normal brewing. This type of pre-infusion applies plumbed line pressure to the coffee, which should be limited by a pressure reducer on the plumbed connection to between 1 and 2 bar. 7 seconds is a good starting point for passive pre-infusion. Eco mode automatically powers off the machine after a specified period of inactivity. You can set this to activate between 30 and 600 minutes in 10-minute increments. You can also shut it off entirely. Cleaning reminders can be set to prompt you to backflush the machine after a specified number of brew cycles between 10 and 200. Reset reminder resets the counter for both cleaning and filter reminders. Advanced user setting hides or displays the following advanced menu options. Setting the filter reminder will remind you to replace your in-tank water filter after a number of liters of water brewed between 5 and 200. Timer enable activates or deactivates the automatic on-off programming schedule, which is set using a different menu. Use clock set to set the machine's internal clock. This time is used for the automatic on-off programming schedule. Use schedule set to set up to 2 specific on-off periods daily for each day of the week. Tank mode switches the machine from using water from the internal reservoir or the plumbed water line. For detailed instructions on how to plumb your machine directly to a water line, including installing an inline water filter, see the video linked in the description. Temperature unit allows you to set the temperature units to either imperial or metric measurements. Coffee offset correction adjusts the offset between the actual temperature in the coffee boiler and the calculated brew water temperature at the group. Unless you really know what you're doing, we do not recommend changing this setting. Enable Brewing Head toggles the cartridge heaters in the group head that help the machine heat to brew temperatures in just 6.5 minutes. The ECM Synchronika 2 can be purchased with a flow control device installed. By rotating this valve, you can increase or decrease the flow of water through the group head. The stock flow rate of 11 grams per second is achieved when the flow control knob is rotated 1 1/4 turns from a closed, no-flow position. While higher than stock flow rates are rarely used, low flow can be used to perform an extended pre-infusion or follow a flow profile for brewing a specific coffee roast or type. For more information on some basic flow profiles, see the video linked in the description. To keep your ECM Synchronika 2 in the best possible condition, it's important to keep it clean and well maintained. Portafilters, filter baskets, and the drip tray should all be rinsed thoroughly and wiped down after you're finished using the machine for the day. Use the included group head cleaning brush to scrub the shower screen, making sure to get in the space around the shower screen where the portafilter locks into place. Backflushing is required to prevent the buildup of coffee grounds and oils in and around the group head and shower screen. To backflush the machine, install the backflush disc in your portafilter, lock it into the group head, and run the brew pump for 20 seconds. Remove the portafilter and dump the water into a receptacle. Repeat this process until you don't see coffee grounds in the backflush disc. You should perform water-only backflushes after each use of the machine. You should also backflush using Kefitsa detergent once every month or so, depending on how often you brew. The process is the same, except you begin by putting a small amount of Kefitsa detergent in the backflush disc before locking it into your portafilter. When back flushing with Kefitsa, it's important to make sure you run the pump for at least 20 seconds to ensure the detergent can dissolve properly. It's also important to be sure to rinse the detergent out of the machine before brewing with it again. To do this, back flush the machine at least 5 times with no detergent or until the water discharging into your drip tray after running the pump is clear. Now that your ECM Synchronika 2 is all set up and ready to brew, there are a few other accessories we recommend picking up. In order to ensure your Synchronika 2 stays in good working order, using properly filtered water is essential. When used as directed, a BWT water filtration system will prevent the buildup of scale in your machine in all but the most extreme edge cases. There are several BWT systems available that are compatible with the ECM Synchronika 2, including in-reservoir, a filtering pitcher, and inline options. See the link in the video description for more information on water filtration options. You also want to make sure you're keeping your machine clean. For that, you'll need some Kefitsa to clean your portafilters, baskets, and group head, and if you're making milk drinks, some Ernex Rinza to clean your steam wand. Of course, if you plan on making milk drinks, you'll need a frothing pitcher as well. The best espresso is brewed using beans ground fresh. That means you'll want to add a dedicated espresso grinder to your setup. We also recommend weighing your grounds and your brewed espresso. For that, you'll need an espresso scale. And of course, you can't brew great espresso without great coffee. We have a wide selection of fresh, locally roasted options, as well as your favorites from brands like Lavazza and Carraro. For additional information on operating and maintaining your ECM Synchronika 2, see the operating instructions book which came with the machine. If you need additional assistance, please contact customer service or text support at A Latte Love.